We made it. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Oh, everybody's in the house. Yo. What is happening? Look at this. Jacob's in the house. Look at this. Everybody's here. Oscar. Look at already throwing out tickers, man. LYFT. Look. Oh, dude, I totally forgot to look at LYFT. Yeah, there's actually, not gonna lie. Oh, LYFT is looking spicy. Holy moly. Yeah, hope everybody had a good weekend. It was we actually have a holiday week coming up. So if you're what's happening? Good morning. Good morning. Ava's in the house. Yes, everybody like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Appreciate the support. What is up? Ash with the H. I don't know. It's hilarious, man. They didn't. Was there no emit? Oh, if you and dude, I really was I heard he had the Miami meetup last week. I saw the tweets or the posts. Sorry, X. And I didn't. I mean, he sent me a message. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this," and then he's always running so fast, and I totally forgot. But yeah, that looked like an amazing. It looked like a really awesome meetup. So bummer I missed it. Hope everybody had an amazing time. Yeah, Tesla, huge day today. Absolutely. Rocket Lab, crazy recovery. Patrick with the Jasonistas. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, it's anyways, it's a good week so far. A big Friday last week after Jackson Hole. Clearly the market was not expecting to have a dovish Powell, but that is in fact what we got. And looks like our buddies in town here. Check this one out. Let me see if this is that the guy? What's going on, man?
Yo, how we doing? I wonder if which mic this is connected to right now. This sounds horrible, doesn't this?
No, I think it's fine.
I think this is from just my computer mic, like the Mac.
I don't think anyone is going to complain at all.
I will be back in a second. Let me back up.
Don't worry, Dad. Is that are you guys talking about an admit? Is he still with his date? It's possible. It's possible. But anyways, yeah. So actually, next week is in fact a holiday week. So usually we do this stream on Mondays as long as the market is open. So in fact, we will not have a stream next Monday. So get your fix in now while you have it, because there will be no stream next Monday. I believe I will be with Amit on Tuesday though. So you'll have that. 1 second. Sorry. I used to get these little like itchy throats every now and then, but
while we're starting out, one of the things that I noticed about the Amit's meetup in Miami is that the guy to girl ratio was actually better than most of these events. So I saw more females than I was expecting.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't. I'm not in Miami. But hey,
one day, you guys, Evan's actually going to show up to one of these, and he's probably not going to introduce himself, and you will have met StockMKTNewz Evan, and he's just going to be like, yeah, I was there, and I met everybody, but I didn't introduce myself. So, he will save his face reveal one day. Maybe.
It's not like I have anything crazy to hide. I'm just a quiet person. I probably won't talk I'll probably just be in the corner because I don't like big stuff. But yeah, no, I'm just a private guy. I'm not a big talker.
We shall see.
I'm excited though. Is everyone, are you guys all liking the stream? I hope you guys, if you guys are in here and you enjoy these Monday streams, Paper's putting a lot. So go in and hit the like button as we're about to get started here. I'm excited for what Cleo.
We still got some stragglers, but it's a big week. It's definitely, well, did you guys show up? I showed up to this. I saw a lot of people show up to the meet. I know the one here in California, and we had in Palo Alto. I feel like there was it felt like there was at least 100 people or so, and it looked like Miami was equally big, but yeah, they're just getting bigger and bigger. We'll wait till there's like you have to rent out like a huge like where he can only go to Vegas because you have to rent out an entire venue. But anyways, here's what we got. So if you're new to the stream, welcome. What we do here every Monday, we kind of take a break. For me personally, it was a big week last week. Jackson Hole, you kind of have to let the dust settle. It's very similar to an FOMC, to a Fed meeting, to a Fed conference. It is a Fed conference, essentially. This was Powell's last Jackson Hole. So if you're thinking he was going to talk a lot about lessons learned and like a big farewell, he actually disappointed in that, from that perspective. But it's really like their planning meeting. And in one sentence, Powell like resurrected the market. And if you were looking at the market intra week, or if you were with us with the MIT, Tuesday, or looking at the market midweek, it wasn't looking that great. And then boom, in one sentence, Powell flips the market entirely, and the week ends up looking completely different. And it's that kind of move that happens. And this is August, right? Today is like, it's the end of August, so we'll have to see how everything kind of hashes out. But this is August volatility, and this week, this week is NVIDIA earnings. So hence this is my thumbnail. I was gonna have the NVIDIA saves the market, but Jay Powell already saved the market. So instead, this is everybody getting ready to watch, NVIDIA earnings. Whether or not you're familiar with fundamentals or not, you probably own it, and everybody's gearing up, ready to watch or listen to the earnings call, because whether or not you understand what's going on, you're probably going to listen. And so this is going to be us, boys and girls. We're ready to roll. But other than that, here's what happened. So, and by the way, Evan, since you are the newsanista, feel free to chime in. But this is, for the most part, what I got. The Fed minutes. So we did get minutes last week. The minutes showed essentially majority of FOMC members are seeing inflation as a greater risk overall. But again, so the Fed has two mandates: one, to keep inflation under control, and two, to promote full employment. And as we've come closer and closer to the next FOMC meeting, and as the year has progressed, the labor market has become a bigger and bigger concern, and especially with these non-farm payroll revisions, and Trump now replacing the BLS, the head of the BLS. This is really the crux of the issue currently, and right here, this is that bullet. In one sentence, Powell's sentence, shifting risks may warrant adjusting rates. Boom. Instantly, market flips. And this is just in the press release. But this is going to be the first time, I believe, since COVID, is that correct? That we're looking at cutting rates. We've been pause.
No, because we cut rates 50 basis points last year.
So we did one rate cut.
Yeah. One 50 basis point cut. So if like some people, one rate cut is really 25 basis points. Kind of two, but in one go.
And we really haven't done anything since then. Is that right?
We have not.
Yeah. And so initially we were thinking, hey, look, we're going to completely just, people have been on this train of like, oh, we're going to go long TLT and what have you. But like, TLT is not the business. That's the long bond. And I keep getting a lot of texts and a lot of DMs asking about, people are trying to go long TLT, which is the ticker for the 20-year plus bond. And just so everybody knows, and to keep it crystal clear, the Fed only controls the 2-year government rates. And oddly enough, Trump also did his 13F release. He wanted to participate in 13F season. And for whatever reason, he released his own purchases, his own recent purchases, which happened to only be muni bonds, which is Fed short-term or Fed bond, like government bonds, and that is the only thing that the Fed actually controls. So he thinks that the federal rates are going to come down, but again, the Fed only controls the 2-year bond, doesn't control the 5, the 10, the 20, or the 30. That is all completely market dependent, and so again, only one thing that the Fed controls. The market's kind of jumping forward like 5 steps, assuming that the long bond, we call it the long bond, the 30-year, 20-year is going to move in kind, meaning like those longer term duration bonds are going to start coming down, which means that the paper, essentially, that the bonds themselves will actually go up in value. Not necessarily true, and you can see that in the price action. TLT has TLT moved at all? I don't think it has. No. Actually, it's down today nearly exactly where it was on Friday. So it's largely unchanged. And so that, I think, look, Friday was a big move. It's come back actually halfway, sorry. So it's come back right back to where it opened on Friday. I think that's appropriate, but we have to let the dust settle and just know that the Fed does not control TLT. That is 100% market dependent. It's not the trade here. It's just not the trade here. And everything else, it's just the 2-year bond. So if you're extrapolating 10, 20 years out, you have to be very cautious. Maybe it does work out, but it's just not what the Fed actually controls. Anyways, that said, it could happen. It's just not what triggered yesterday. What he did say, though, is that, look, the labor market is becoming a really big issue, and it's becoming a bigger issue than inflation is, because they have been talking about inflation being an issue, although now the current labor risks, which is the shifting risks that they're referencing, are becoming a bigger issue. Whether or not that's due to AI, meaning that like we're driving labor efficiencies via AI, who knows? But the current labor risks are outweighing the existing inflation risks in the near term, which is weird because now that kind of makes all these, it kind of makes the data, as the near term data as it comes in, like from a labor perspective, the worse that the labor data is, the more bullish. It's like bad news is good news now, in a sense, when it comes to labor. But if it's inflation, if inflation continues to get worse, that will still be bad news. So we do have to keep an eye out for inflation data as that comes in. If that gets progressively worse, that may tip the scales, but this is what the market's going to be listening for. Other commentary, Cleveland's Hammock says would not see a case for a September rate cut. So that's one. Look, there are still Fed presidents that are kind of standing out saying, "Hey, I don't see a reason to cut yet." Casey's Schmidt August job report will be very consequential. So that's the next NFP, right? So the next NFP will be extremely consequential in shaping central bank's next move. So for the next rate move, this next non-farm payroll report that we get for the first Friday of September, essentially this is going to be the next massive pivot in the market. So if you don't know non-farm payrolls, that's the first Friday of every month we get. I believe that's going to be first Friday of September. That's going to be the next big pivot for the market. Well, for me, we've already known that, but here is somebody saying just outright, it's this massive pivot for the market. Jobless claims are still climbing. Just talked about what Powell says. And then from a CME rate cut perspective, the data is showing that the odds of a September rate cut after the comment that Powell says has shifted to 90%, just over 90% probability of getting that rate cut. I don't believe I checked. Do you happen to know offhand what the probability for October went to? I think it actually stayed similar.
On
pull it up.
Polymarket, it's about 50-50 right now on no change.
Yeah, it is 50.
25
So October, 50%. So we're currently sitting at 86.3%, and then 50% for October. So 50-50 that we actually stay the same. 42% maybe we get a rate cut, but it's about 50% for October. But 86% that we do get a rate cut. And then December, we're about 48% that we get another one. Looking like about 25 basis points for December. So those are the current probabilities. And this is what we just talked about. It's coming from a place of, we were looking at inflation being the biggest driver here. Now we're kind of shifting that focus to really like the employment scenario becoming the largest driver. And as long as the employment scenario stays where it is, or if that continues to get worse, that will be the market's focus. Or if inflation gets worse, as long as inflation doesn't get worse, employment stays the larger focus. It's kind of like that balance, right? So it's the scale. If you're gonna put the scale up, here's where inflation was up here, and now the scale's kind of tipped. So as long as it doesn't flip flop, it's now employment is now the focus. Moving forward, here's what we got. So we got 2 Dow 30 components that did report last week. Only 2. I think we only have 2 coming this week as well. The 2 that did report, Home Depot and Walmart, both missed. 2 totally different reactions from a price action perspective. So Walmart missed, down 5%. Home Depot missed, up. Home Depot very much down in the doldrums. I don't know. I say down. Just starting to climb out of the hole, really. But this is overall, let's say, their initial reaction down, but on the day ending up about, what was it? Ending up about 3%. But initial knee-jerk reaction was down and then instantly bought up. And I think that's just commentary, probably forecast, but double miss from Home Depot, but really good price action. Walmart, completely opposite, following through to the downside today, kind of dragging Costco with it as well. Not able to really clarify that forecast. So a little bit different price reaction from both. This is just quickly on, before we jump into Evan's posts, really nothing on the horizon this week. New home sales, 2-year note tomorrow for the crypto traders or people looking at money supply. We get that tomorrow. Oil status report, mortgage, nothing really on the radar. GDP we do get Thursday, but it's the second look, so I wouldn't put too much stock into it. If it's the first look, that's a bigger thing. And we get jobless claims. We just talked about jobless claims being a bigger deal. The only thing, but this is a weekly data point, so we get it every week. It's a very frequent thing. The only thing that's going to come out that's a market moving real event is going to be Friday's PCE. So having had a massive move on last Friday, I'm kind of more in the camp of like, maybe the dust settles throughout the week. We might get some continuation, but I'm not expecting massive moves until Friday. So it might be very similar to last week where we get, a little continuation of what was already going on. And then Friday hits and it changes the whole look of the week in its entirety, which is weird because like last week, when you think about it, it was grinding lower all week, and then boom, Friday just changed the entire picture. So we could have a grind higher, small continuation every day, and then Friday we either explode higher or give it all back. Who knows? But one of the two. This is the only number that's going to have any kind of meaningful impact, though, on the market. And this is, if you're not familiar with what PCE is, this is personal consumption expenditures. And this is what I was talking about. If the market is now focusing on employment as the greatest driver, it's only because of what J. Powell just said. As long as the employment factor stays mostly in focus, we know that PCE is the biggest thing that the Fed looks at. And as long as this stays basically where it is, or where it has been on the trajectory that it's been going, it's all good. The outlier was last month's PPI, the producer price index, which kind of all feeds into PCE, which was a massive outlier. And so if PPI popped like crazy, and that all kind of follows through into PCE, if all of a sudden we get a massively giant PCE number, well, then we're probably in big trouble.
One thing I will say, PPI, Kevin was talking about this. The numbers say it takes about like 3 months to work its way into the CPI. I don't know PCE where that ends up working in, but yeah. So the PPI we're seeing now, you would start to see it affect the inflation. History would tell you you'd start to see it affect the inflation data as we're seeing CPI and PCE in about like 2 months, a month. And honestly, it doesn't always happen where like PPI leads to the CPI. There's like, X, I think it's like a 50, 65, 70% correlation. I think 60. And then like if it's going to happen, and then when it does, it's like 2-3 months later.
Yeah. So like if the market assumes that, I'm just saying, if right now all of a sudden the market's only concerned about the employment market or the labor market, and then all of a sudden, so market only moves on things that are unexpected. And right now the market expects PCE to come in as expected, or we don't expect PCE to be a big factor. If it becomes a big factor, well, that's going to be unexpected. So this is why I'm saying, because it would be unexpected, that would be essentially the only reason that it does move the market. But other than that, this is really what we're looking forward to. And this is Evan's tweet. I think you can see us.
Yeah, we can get ready for the week. Help you get prepared.
So here's a little bit deeper dive.
The photo. I love the photo. This is the prime one, green video week.
We could have done the Jensen signature, but this is okay too. Good. We like this. Do you want to go through the Seeking Alpha Catalyst watch?
Yeah. Let's go through this one first.
Okay, so Open Door. By the way, I thought this was next door. It's not next door. It's real estate. So I had them completely mixed up. Asset entities, man, I can't believe this. I actually worked for this company, or I not worked for. They employed Paper Gains for a while. Like they had us as a analyst. They're a stock trading company. Oddly enough, I know them, but I don't
really. That's interesting.
You don't know them? Yeah, ASST. It's I can't believe they're public. But anyways, what are they doing?
Options volume, trading volume. Basically, these are meme stocks, give or take.
Okay, yeah, meme stocks
being traded.
If Paper Gains went public, it would be ASST. That's essentially what it is. It's got to be a penny stock, though. Wild.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they're bringing it out. Look at that chart over the last week. What is this? The day chart? No.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oscar in the chat is saying that's the Vivek name. I don't know. Is it
Vivek? Asset entities? No.
No free promo.
It's a trading option swing. It's a trading.
It's option swing. I know this guy. Okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, we know.
They bought.
They used to pay me to be an analyst. Anyways,
that's crazy. What's the market cap?
I don't know.
Robinhood says 89
84 million.
84, yeah.
84 million.
Now they're saying it's a Bitcoin treasury company now. All right, so they don't have a business model. Love you. Goodbye. Let's continue.
I mean, yeah, they're grasping for.
But
all right, we're moving on. Moving on.
Most overbought.
SSC is a Bitcoin treasury now.
That's what that comment was. That's what that last comment was. Yeah.
No, I am not there. I am not there now. No, I am not.
No, I think that was Vivek too. That TT.
Oh, Vivek was there.
Maybe he helped it go public. Pinduoduo reported earnings this morning.
Oh, Vivek is not there now. Most services. All right, Monday.com. Yeah, PDD. I don't know what PDD is doing today. I didn't see them.
It had a big move in the morning, but now it's
giving it back.
Break even. Gave it all back.
That's all right. Divvy Watch, J&J, Hyatt, Tyson Food.
Above it though, IPO lockup period for Figma. IPO quiet period expires. Sorry, I think that's so. That means analyst reports can start coming out about Figma. Gotcha. And then also in a couple days is that 1 month period where you're not going to get the flipping thing anymore. So truthfully, I might sell my one share of Figma on like the 31st or whatever it is. Not that one share counts.
The flipping, the lockup. Okay. VMware. What are they not calling it? This used to be called VMworld. They're not calling it VMworld anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Let's see.
It's called VMware.
VMware Explorer. Yeah.
This is what happened when Broadcom takes over and Dell's out. All right. Was anyways. Hawktan. All right. I wonder if Michael's going to be there. All right. So earnings on watch Tuesday. Bank of Montreal, MongoDB, and Okta. Okta had a decent move this morning. We'll see. MongoDB is interesting. Not sure what's going to happen there. Starbucks. Tuesday. This is a big deal for the Starbucks crew. Pumpkin spice latte. I feel like you go long Starbucks just for the pumpkin spice lattes, dude. Not gonna lie. Oh man. Mr. Cash. Trump will be reducing drug prices. I'm not sure if that's bullish or not. No, Imperium, I did not talk Oxy already. Do you want to, you know what, after this, guys, before we get into the charts, and I might hold back some charts. I might hold back on some chart requests today, but let's just continue with this. I think there could be two potential generational buys in the market, and I could spend a little bit of time talking about them. I'll let you guys decide. Either we get to talk about them.
I know one of them,
or we don't. Either we do your requests, or we talk about legitimate investing opportunities. One of the two. I can't do both though. All right. So then Wednesday, NVIDIA, CrowdStrike. Okay. So here we go. So Wednesday is the big earnings day. This is a big one. So NVIDIA. I don't think Royal Bank of Canada is big. CrowdStrike. All right.
It's the second biggest company in Canada, but no one cares in a nice way. Sorry.
I mean, here's the deal though. NVIDIA, big day. But also check this out. CrowdStrike, Snowflake, if you don't know Viva, Pure Storage, HP. This is the clients. This is why I say client. That's like laptops, desktops. My Abercrombie. Ooh. I keep saying it's Abercrombie. Anyways. Okay. 1, 2. So two of the biggest software names, data warehousing, security, Pure Storage, AI, backend AI. It's data warehouse. It's not data warehouse. So this is data warehousing software. This is hardware. CrowdStrike security software. Viva is software. This, 1, 2, 3. These are really definitely these large software names. This is software biotech. This is a big name for the software big day for the software sector and for AI as a whole between these two. For sure. And CrowdStrike. 1, 2, 3, 4 massive AI names. This is a huge day, actually. And then you got 2 discount retailers. Kohl's, I just don't know how it's still around. Five Below, I haven't seen. Williams-Sonoma, Restoration Hardware. These guys all just got slapped with the Trump's tweet about furniture tariffs. I smell a little taco sauce on that one. I'm not going to lie. Those were up big on Friday, and then they gave back a huge chunk, if not all of it. It might be an opportunity there. Abercrombie has been a decent move so far. It's at a pretty critical spot. We'll see. I'm not sure how that one's going to go. And then
I'll be watching NVIDIA the most, obviously, but I'm really curious on Snowflake is the one I'm the most curious on.
Yeah.
Is Databricks actually eating into some of it? I have no idea. We'll find out.
Databricks?
Databricks, yeah.
Probably, for sure.
I'm very intrigued by the Snow, because obviously we know how NVIDIA is going to go. CrowdStrike's probably
Their business models are just completely different. Databricks' business model is more aligned with Palantir's business model. The Snowflake business model is like you have to own, as last I left it, which was a long time ago, it was like you have to own the storage also. You have to purchase the storage also. Databricks, you just had to buy the software layer. So from that perspective, it'd be cheaper. And they were, Slootman was good, but he was old school, so he wasn't really innovating so much from a technology perspective. Deutsche Bank Technology Conference, Fortinet, Cisco, CoreWeave, and Arista, Microsoft, and ServiceNow. So 1, 2, that could be interesting. Rocket Lab, SOFI, Affirm, ACWI Index. I don't even know what that is. Really don't know what that is. Thursday, reporting. This is a big week, dude. Dell, Marvell. Oh my goodness, Marvell. Autodesk, Dollar Gen, Liato, Best Buy. Here's another deep value, Victoria's Secret. I don't know if that's deep value or not. Affirm. Upstart already reported, so Affirm. Dick's Sporting Goods. Intel CFO David Zinsner. Fireside chat at the Deutsche Bank Tech Conference. Oh my God, SoftBank. Oh yeah. So have you seen this SoftBank chart? This thing is insane.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
He just throws money around, but fair enough.
Dude.
How much of ARM? They own a lot of ARM still, I think. A lot of ARM holdings.
Yeah.
A lot of ARM.
It was $20. Now it's 56. 133 days, up 61% since April. Since April, it's up 160%. Not too shabby. So I thought Baba has already reported. It has not reported yet. This thing is all over the place. Good day today. Alibaba reports on the 29th of August. That thing is just, their earnings report, I feel like, is like a moving target. And then Friday, core PCE. So Fed's favorite inflation gauge was up 2.8 year over year and 2.7 in May. Where's the, this is killing me. Where's the forecast? I do not care about.
Is PCE year over year is 2.6%. The core PCE year over year forecast is 2.9%.
Yeah, so consensus is to come in exactly in line. Consensus is to come in line. We're going to lose from a year over year 0.2%. We were slightly higher. We came in at 0.3%. July. Personal income. As long as the income doesn't go up substantially. And then the spending. Did you spend a lot? I spent a lot on Prime Day. Is this going to include Prime Day? Prime Week?
I remember the retail sales data thing didn't really change that much there.
Yeah. I spent like 10x what I normally do on Prime Week. Legit. So hopefully doesn't skew it.
July would have been no. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Actually, maybe that is in there.
I'm not sure why AMD is down. Well, it's because AMD does not report this week. It's very simple. It's because NVIDIA reports this week. And I'm not sure why you would want to own AMD this week over NVIDIA. So it's not so much about being bullish AI. It's being more bullish NVIDIA over AMD this week. Keeping it simple.
I'll tell you one thing that is not on this Catalyst watch that you should watch out for this week. So if we look back at history, this is the week when Apple will be sending out the invites for its iPhone release event, which generally, if history tells us, will be on September 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So maybe we're getting the start of that like run up into the Apple event. I don't know, but yeah.
Oh.
Keep scrolling down to see the Apple story.
Yeah, I was looking at
this post. So based on history, that's what I was just saying there. But click into the post below it. It came out from over the weekend. This is from Mark Gurman. He watches
this
Apple News very closely. Yeah,
I saw this as well. So Apple, for the first time ever. Now, granted, for the Apple bears out there, I know this sounds stupid.
I worded it. Yeah, no, I know.
Well, no, I think to be fair, if you're an Apple bear, you're looking at this and you're like, this sounds absolutely stupid. But hear us out. Having a lot of good bears out there makes the market. And not having a lot of good stuff or anything priced in, like there is no AI priced into Apple, really. There's just nothing really good priced into the stock of Apple. We know they're outsourcing AI. To me, honestly, I think that's a good thing. I don't know that. Yeah, but there's no like massive innovation or massive amount of AI priced into this. So it's not like they're at risk of being taken out, coming down because of that. What is this? Oh, it's an anniversary phone with curved glass.
Like the edges of it, you know. I don't know if that's ever really worked that well.
It's an anniversary.
That's it. That's the post. Foldable phone will reportedly have Touch ID instead of Face ID. That's just not like, you know. But just the whole thing of this was, I think that given the next 2
Yes.
weeks, what this is the hype going into the iPhone event is here. We're going to announce it this week. I have a little bit of a trade on. I do have some Apple, but we'll see. Apple 240.
I have taken off my Apple near-term trades, but I will say that it's not going down. And this looks pretty decent. Although it looks like I got a pretty good exit. And this looks like it could be ready to reload. So I don't hate it. If it goes any higher,
Jay Brad in the chat, we can move on. Sorry, I want to hear the 2 generational picks as opposed to whatever. But he said Corning over Apple. That makes sense. But I don't know. Yeah. Expect Apple to send out the invites for the iPhone event in about 2 weeks. But the event's in 2 weeks. The invite should be going out today. Or sorry, this week. Maybe today.
They're torn. Do they want juicy up? Look, guys, trades will come and trades will go. The question is, peace out, girl. I will see you in the server. Trades will come and trades will go. Do you want the near-term stuff or do you want lasting stuff? I guess that's the question. Week to week, day to day, no big deal. But I'll let you decide that. And in the meantime, we do have some other stuff to deal with, right?
Oh, it's time.
Because before we can even look at charts, there's like really important stuff that we do need to cover. So before we get ahead of ourselves, why don't we check in with our good friend, Miss Cleo, and get updated with the T in TA that does stand for tarot. So let's get to it. All right, guys, it is the time for your favorite. What do you call this? For the favorite part, for your favorite part of the show. This is for comedic relief, so don't take it too seriously. But we got to break it up somehow. And it is tea time. We're going to call this tea time, but Evans and I will say, Miss Cleo called the craziest thing last week, and she was wrong so far. I believe that she said that we were going to get attacked overnight. She said there was going to be an overnight attack on Friday. You know, was it Thursday to Friday night? I don't know. I was waiting for some kind of overnight attack. Didn't show up. So then we moved the goalpost a little bit more. Maybe it was from Friday over the weekend. Still no attack. Miss Cleo, just saying, you gave us some pretty straightforward, there's going to be an overnight attack. I did not get attacked. It's all, unless you were a bear. If you were a bear, maybe she'll reference this. But if you were a bear, I will say this though, you were attacked. So that could be that, right? Oh, or maybe you were attacked if you were on Bitcoin, I guess. You're attacked on Bitcoin. Because, yeah, if you were bullish, super bullish, then maybe, I don't know. Anyways, take it for what it is. You know, I want to take these names off. Let's take these. I think you know who is who. How's that? All right. So this is how it works. So we get a theme card for the week. That comes up top. And then every day of the week, again, comedic relief. Sometimes she's accurate, sometimes not. But sometimes it's crazy. Theme card for the week. And then every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, dude. Did we not just go on this like crazy rant? I swear we did. This is the Friday card. I'm just like a magnet to this. I know this. I legit can't make this up, man. I legit can't make this. This is Friday's card. All right, Evan. You want to take the first shot at this?
You know, the Hanged Man as the card for the week or whatever makes it tough to come in here and be like, yeah, this is great.
Really?
This looks like we're going downhill throughout the week. Like Judgment.
I mean,
why are we praying to England? I don't know what we're doing there. Why is that?
Wait. Oh, you mean the Emperor? Or are you talking about?
To the right, the Judgment one. Like what's that?
Judgment.
There's a flag there. And it looks like the English flag or whatever.
That's Swiss, isn't it? That's not England, bro.
I think it is.
Guys.
Close. It's not exactly like it's not square or whatever, but give or take. I mean, what are we doing here? This does not look like it's gonna be a fun week.
Close to England flag.
It feels like Miss Cleo is like the King of Pentacles. That one looks like like messy and like something.
I don't think I've ever seen this card.
And then it's like Judgment. All right, we get judged, and maybe that could be good. But then look on Thursday, that doesn't look good.
The Hermit.
It kind of looks like Gandalf. Yeah, you shall not pass. Maybe that's a big like.
You shall not pass.
For the market. Like,
I think that's a very appropriate call.
And then Friday looks like all right. That looks like some regrets were made Thursday night.
I think that's the best.
You know what? That Wednesday card, NVIDIA earnings is after the close. We're praying to the gods, the Jensen Huang gods, and then we might just get slapped down Thursday.
Oh yeah, this is the big day, Wednesday. Oh, dang. So I think I know exactly how I'm going to play this whole week then. Look at this. Oh, I think I have a trading plan for the week now. If I wanted to trade with Miss Cleo.
You know what I find interesting too? The Monday, doesn't that guy just look so confident? I feel pretty freaking confident right now. I don't know about you guys. This little great move Friday, and then Monday we start a little low, we move up higher. Yeah, we're retesting it right now. Watch us close in the high of the day.
No, I think this guy looks super confident. I feel like this is all gold. Like this guy is like literally he can't stand up because he's like draped in gold. Like he's literally weighed down with all his riches. Like he's like literally has gold hanging all over him. Like this guy is looking cocky. I feel like this guy's overly cocky, but I don't know. And then now you're definitely praying to the Jensen gods. And for sure, the Gandalf the Grey, I think that was an awesome call. You shall not pass. Dude, that's perfect. You shall not pass. And then
Friday does not look good.
Yo.
We've had that card before, though.
Yeah, so we know this card. This is the nightmare card. Unfortunately, this is PCE day. So the good thing about this card is that it's a nightmare card, but you absolutely wake up in your own pool of blood. That's what this red is. It's like your pool of blood, and you've woken up in a nightmare, and it usually means like it's a gap down day. And it's like one of the worst cards that you can get. But the good thing is that it's all a nightmare. So if you want to stay bullish, you typically buy the close or something like that. It's a dip buy day. But it also means that this is a sell day. This probably Wednesday is a sell day. Because Thursday, one of these two. But it's a gap down between here and there. Thursday, Friday. For sure. But you shall not pass is, I think, very much appropriate. So definitely no pressing longs Thursday. I like this, dude.
Unless Unless
which
we're moving
means
lower
that the
off-
whole week ends up looking like a hangman from a candlestick perspective, which means you go up, stop, and close exactly where you started. Up, down, close the same place you started. Not so bad. I can get with that. Tuesday is a good day.
All right. I don't care what Miss Cleo says now. I think we're right.
Well, let's see what she says anyways. So, theme card is the Hangman. Follow a minor arcana card, so there's no series here. The Hangman has shown quite often for stocks. So you should be familiar with its patterns. I don't even remember. We're expecting to take a step backwards in order to make progress in the future. It mean reverts when drawn as a theme card. So that would imply a red week for stocks. Okay. I'm not sure if that's in the cards, but we can expect a lot of chop, which is nothing new, unfortunately. All right. So Monday is the Emperor. This card brings big energy and it's trendy by nature. That means we're playing momentum here. Direction is no clue. She has no clue. We don't have an edge. So I would just wait for a pullback on a green day or squeeze on a red day and use that moment to die. So she has no idea. Just play momentum. Tuesday, the King of Pentacles. I don't think I've seen this card. Look for continuation with energy similar to Monday. Similar to Monday's energy. Chop is more likely than trend. So if we gap in the direction of Monday's close, I would use that as a time to exit short-term trades. There's not much to do here other than wait for the next setup. She doesn't really care for Tuesday. She doesn't really care for Tuesday. Wednesday is Judgment. On this day, we'll look to clean up any mess that was left from Tuesday. This means mean reversion is probable. We may fill a gap, but we won't trend. Wow, this is a crap week, she's saying. So buy dips and sell rallies. Don't get caught trying to chase any quick moves. How can you say buy dips and sell rallies, but also in the same sentence or the same paragraph say don't get caught trying to chase quick moves? It's a hard paragraph right there to swallow. Anyways, the Hermit, Gandalf. This card arrives for both markets. Oh, she's talking about crypto this week, which is not unusual. We're given a very important warning to stay away and avoid chasing a trade. So guys, girls, take the whole week off. Enjoy the family. We're given a very important warning to stay away and avoid chasing a trade. This card used to trend quite often, but lately has preferred chop. I'm using this day to prepare for a trade in the opposite direction on Friday because she saw what we saw, which is the 9 of Swords. We're having nightmares, and that makes it difficult to sleep. You can imagine that this too implies a gap up or down. Oh, she's straight up saying that it could be a gap up. If you're bearish, I guess a gap up. Since the Hermit usually sets up a trap, I'm expecting to reverse Thursday's close. So straight up reverse whatever Thursday was. So if Thursday was bearish, it could be a reversal Friday. All right, that's fair. It could be a nightmare for the bulls. It could be a nightmare for the bears. We're open to that. This card rarely trends, so if one starts, you may be able to fade it. She didn't go into the big old explanation that we did, but I know what that nightmare card is. We have a decent start to the week that ends in chop and mean reversion. Most of the money may be made early in the week. All right, guys, that's it. That's all Miss Cleo said. Now I'm going to stay and take L's in both directions. You know what, Jacob? There's always, iron condors. That's available. You don't have to take trades. It's not a requirement to trade. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. What I will say is, here's my first look every day. It's like a 30-minute chart. TNX is the 10-year yield. This is kind of looking like a little bit of continuation. Gold had a nice big bounce. I think the dollar was a big tell yesterday. DXY. Big downside move. This was J Powell. He had actually like crashed the dollar and now starting to come back a little bit. So we kind of watched that slightly. Even though the dollar is kind of rebounding a bit, oddly enough, gold holding its entire move. That's bullish for gold. VIX coming down. I have Ethereum up here. For right now, that's just been the mover. It had the big move about 50% of the way back, but more or less at the pivot. I don't think this looks super strong here, at least in the moment. You'd have to be over 46. What I will do is that I remember you guys can't see anything. Here. So hopefully you can see that a little bit better. All right, so let me just switch this over. I hate that. Let me get these set up. I'm just looking at this. I think you can see this a little bit better. All right, so just really quick from a day-to-day perspective, if you're not familiar with intraday trading or short-term time frames, overnight we did have a little bit of a gap down, very slight gap down. We call this a session gap. That's at 645.46. What you do, for our traders, as long as you're holding what we call a half gap, which is right here, you're okay, and that's just okay. So your half gap is in this yellow box right now, and you would assume that, hey, look, you can more or less look to close the gap, but you're not actually in the clear unless you start to close above the gap. So the gap, again, 645.46. This type of pullback is fine. Your half gap is essentially this opening range low, 644. That has to hold through the back half of today. You're really not going to be in the clear today unless you're over that pre-market high, which is 640, call it 645, just for round numbers. And in that instance, for today's session, cool, you just have this little blip of a move, which really puts this type of move not till later in the week or possibly tomorrow. In the meantime, look, if each one of these, is a possible move downside, like from here to here, it's a possible move downside. Near term, intraday, I don't like to get too far in the weeds because this is day to day, moment to moment, minute to minute. We do this kind of stuff in the server. And if you lose this 643, this is your near-term support. You do not, quite frankly, it's this 644. If you lose this 644, definitively you're going to go to that pre-market low, and that's probably going to happen in fairly short order. If tomorrow you start losing this, look, we're very likely to lose a lot of Friday's move. So again, yeah, Friday was good, but what happened, we moved the length of an average week within about a 30-minute period of time, and we left a very thin structure below. So some kind of retracement is to be expected. I would say last month's low or last month's highs, 640 right there. That's a decent retest, but you do need to be somewhat cautious that at least 50% retracement, which would be here, is in the cards. From a week-to-week perspective, this entire box, that is an upside move that takes you an average week's range 658 upside, an entire week's range to the downside 630. And we don't have non-farm payroll data like this range does not come into range until 682. So for right now, we are pretty far away from at least the 20-day simple moving average. Even this kind of a basic pullback doesn't really do a whole lot of anything to the charts from a long-term perspective. So we basically just chopping still. Yeah, it's nice. It's towards the highs, but still not a follow through that we're looking for. Index at the index level, not a new all-time high on the Qs. I think we were very close. Did we hit an all-time high on SPY? Maybe intraday. Possibly intraday.
SPY, I believe, did. SPX, I believe, did not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, intraday, but not absolute. Q's definitely not. Q's has to get over 575. And I think this is going to come down to NVIDIA. Quite frankly, if you're looking at the Q's versus SPY right now, Q's are still QQQ, NASDAQ 100 are actually still underperforming SPY, which leads me to believe we're still seeing a lot of that rotation, right? So we're still probably seeing breadth in the market widen. And why would still, my sentiment overall would still be buy low, sell high, which kind of puts me in the moment of like, there's still discounts to be had. And I'm still cautious to really press longs on some recent winners. Like I still think you want to be cautious on certain things that are trading at their all-time highs, but still bargains to be had for things that are still towards maybe even 52-week lows. So anyways, that said, we're not out of the weeds until you're, significantly higher on Qs. Technically very much stuck in the mud. Today, though, the intraday move on QQQ looks very different than it did on SPY. So this dash line, that is the weekend session gap. See how Q's actually already got back over it? It's a very different look than we just saw on SPY. So today, because of NVIDIA earnings and things like that, I'm assuming that NVIDIA might be a little bit stronger, but the Qs are having a better recovery today than the broader market as a whole. This area right here is the same area this is what we would call the half gap. And then this white line here, this is the 20-day simple moving average. Because QQQ is coming from a lower space and like coming from a deeper pullback, we call drawdown in trading, it's climbing out a little bit better today. SPY is farther ahead of Qs from a longer term perspective, but from a nearer term perspective, Qs is going to look a little bit stronger today. And again, it's just because that little bit longer term look. When you look at this a little bit more, I'm like, it looks good. And it looks like it could have, in the very near term, as in like Monday through Wednesday, this could have a little bit more strength for the next 3 days, 2 days, but this is definitively going to come down to NVIDIA. And everything will probably change on Friday when we get PCE. So it'll change on Wednesday and it'll change on Friday one more time. And it'll all be TBD from there. So charts here and now, it's going to be a tough call. I can really only tell you on the Qs between now to Tuesday, things will absolutely change. When we do get to Wednesday, because of NVIDIA, and then obviously PCE will probably change the broader view. You do want to be somewhat cautious because you do have a little bit of a topping formation that could be showing up probably closer to that 575 area and that prior week high. To me, all we're doing here, you're kind of, I don't know what this August 19th moment was. I don't know what happened there, but there was some kind of, that was last Tuesday. Do you remember what happened last Tuesday, Evan?
We had that red day for tech. It was a pretty red day for the market. Like NVIDIA was down 4%.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, there was the Meta like AI slowing down of spending news. That was the day Chamath launched SPAC. 1 second.
But we haven't gotten back to last Tuesday's levels on the Qs yet. And after that big of a move at the index level on Friday, the fact that we haven't gotten there yet, quite frankly, is somewhat concerning. So to me, this is possibly locking in a lower high, a second lower high. So I somewhat concerned, but I would definitely be not concerned. This is a sit on my hands and wait moment, definitively. You'll know if this breaks out, but if the market is in transition, transition is going from bull market where you buy at support, right? Regardless, if you're going to be a bull, you buy at support. This is support buy, right? Up, support buy, up. Clearly, support buy. We go up, higher lows, up. When you go to a bear market, clearly this is resistance. They sold at resistance, and then it became some kind of support. But right now, this is resistance. If they start to sell at resistance again, that would be my concern. And if we're going to start to go into some kind of transition, what you don't do is you don't buy at resistance in a transitional market. So it becomes very cautionary to make a big move here. It's much preferred to see this breakthrough, hold and confirm. And in this moment, if I see actually volume, I need to see volume. I can't type with that. I need to see volume show up here. If volume shows up here and then continues, I would feel a lot better, and then continues even there. That would give me my kind of confirmation, if you will. But here, I'm a little bit at risk. Anybody that bought really high, they might be getting scared and being like, oh, I could be their sell liquidity. I could literally be buying the top right now. Not that I am, I don't know. But it's a little sketchy right here. Yeah. If I'm going to do anything with iron condors is, look at this. If you don't know what iron condors are, it's a neutral trading strategy. Look at that. We've gone nowhere for 30 days, 0.2%. 0.2% in a month is what we have actually moved. Not so bad. And Monday we are closed.
What's Monday?
What is Monday? I just know that Monday we're closed. Friday, we just go to Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Labor Day.
Labor Day. Good God. But Evan will be working.
Actually, I believe I am going to the U.S. Open that day.
Oh, really? Also, did you see the Robinhood update?
What is it?
All the sports stuff?
We're getting back to sports being back. College football, I think, is this weekend.
Oh, college football already started, yeah.
Well, college football starts when Ohio State plays, but we can continue.
Oh, fair. Okay. All right, so that's where we are. I think, diamonds. So we have two totally different looking kind of chart setups right now. So we just went over SPY here at the top. Look, we're rejecting here. This it looks like we're coming down, just so you guys know. We're not following through. We have to get up over. We had a big move on Friday, but we didn't break out. QQQ, we just kind of went over. When I look at the rest of the indices here now, here's the diamonds. So diamonds are industrial complex. It's a third completely different look. So we just looked at SPY. We just looked at Qs. This ETF looks completely different. Yet again, not even an attempt to get up to that gap, right? It's not even kind of an attempt. And I look at this as like, where is that half gap? It's literally that opening print high, and it was just an instant rejection. So here now, look, I'm just telling you for sure, this one's coming in, and it's actually happening as we speak. So this guy is happening to come in, and it's probably going to start filling. It's already in there. So we're filling in this low volume pocket right there. So probably about 450s, high 450s on DIA. So this is what I mean by let the dust settle. My crew knew that, look, I wasn't chasing anything coming into today over the weekend, other than actually like some small shorts. There were some things I was looking at today that look good. This is IWM, very similar to the Dow 30, but again, new low of the day, 2-day. Biggest move, I believe, in general, but very thin structure here. Let the dust settle is what I would say. If you want to get really technical or good on your support resistance levels, you have to wait till the buyer starts to step in. And near term, this is just a 30-minute chart. You could have looked at after the speech was done. This is Friday's candle. The buyers that were stepping in yesterday at about 243. Sorry, I'm getting back to the small numbers. I know you can't see these. But this is Friday here, 234.25. That was Friday. You could see today where they started to pivot. So anybody that bought Friday here, near term, that's where they were selling. So these people that bought here, looking for some kind of continuation today, they just sold. Those late Friday buyers, they just gave up. And so now we just have to let this kind of like base out and decide, do we continue on? Maybe we do, but what's that going to look like? It's going to look like this. And those same people that bought here and sold here, well, they're going to buy exactly at the same level later, but it might be later at the week. It's going to be that 235 level. It's just going to be later. So this level remains important to know, hey, look, later on, this is IWM, by the way, your small cap. They're just going to FOMO back into their trades. And that's what it's going to be. Yeah, Troy, this is maybe a little bit more advanced terminology, but yeah, single prints. Anyways, I'm not sure where the volume is coming in today either. So if there's not a lot of people stepping in, it could kind of move. It could look aggressive, but I think today is a day where you let the dust settle. All right. So it seems to me that they are dropping tickers. So
No. The chat said they want your generational plays.
I don't
Give me the
think
2. They do.
I don't
We're
see
looking at a screen where we can maybe even go into one of them right now. I don't want to give away too much of a hint, but guys, so lift to the moon is what I'm hearing Nick say. I am in my
that.
lift
It's
call.
not.
So
That's not one of
I
them.
am the stupid one on this call though. Paper Gains, if you are not subscribed to Paper Gains' channel and giving this a like, and you should be dropping in the chat that you want to see the 2 opportunities that Paper is a big fan of right now. But yeah, I think that. But that's not the person on this call that you want to be thinking that. Analyzer put Visa, and then Joseph put generational. I mean, also that is some big words. I mean, who knows? But that's, people say it, but it could be a big move here. I heard 2 opportunities, please. Then SoundHound and Uber. You guys don't really want it.
Well, just to be fair, so generational is like. So I'll give you I'll give you an example of what generational buys looked like. So a generational buy. Do you guys know we do some of this stuff in the server? So like, I go way up. Thread.
But basically, stuff has been priced at a certain P, certain whatever, certain valuation, and then maybe it can start to change.
No.
The environment starts to change.
Yeah, so this is what, can you see this? You might not be able to see this.
Yeah,
so
it's hard. Yeah.
This was forwarded a long time ago. This is GE. This is GE at the time. This says 80, mind you. This is 80, but this is before GE did a 10-to-1 split. So I'll show you where in the chart, but the buy was here at 60. This was an update, but this is I had to forward this because we had changed servers around and everything, but it was Fang is out, industrials, this 10-year cycle. Yes, I said 10-year cycle, look it up. Large size, fundamentally reported, Where did I talk about this? Anyways, there was I did a lot of stuff on this, but it was post Larry Culp coming in. I say Larry Culp, this was priced as, so GE was here. And the purchase was here. Larry Culp came in, turned this whole company around, actually here. Took a year of waiting. Reason this came in at that buy was something around this reasoning. 38s. Purchase looks like this. Here's your stock. Also, by the way, this is just GE Aerospace. You also get GEV for free. As a spinoff, you also get GE Healthcare for free as a spinoff. But long story short, that was then, this is now, and you have 3 stocks. But it's buying something down here before a turnaround, essentially priced like it doesn't have a chance of survival right before it goes into like thrival mode, potentially. It's like buying Palantir 8 here or Hood at 8 here. But I will say, like, look, there were months, so you don't have to rush into this. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Do you care? I don't know if they care. They might not care, dude. No, they just want the stocks. All right. So we'll do the stocks. We'll do it. All right. So what's the stocks? LYFT. He wants LYFT. Whoever do LYFT. LYFT, I don't know. LYFT could be. He wants LYFT. It could be. I don't know enough here, but I think if we do go into, I will say it has a lot to do with the rate things. A lot to do with the rates. So rates in general, and it's really not going to be, I'll kind of blend it. I'll give you both. I'll try my best to do both. The thing is that like with GE, with Robinhood at 8, with Palantir at 9, all three of these had a lot to do with who is at the helm and a lot of your investing had to do with you investing in the leadership of the company. And also those companies had to have fundamentally wide moats. You can't just like pick a random company, right? Like it has to be a lot of due diligence. So I'm a little early. I don't know that I have like the company ready to roll. So for that reason, like there's a lot of time. But there are sectors for sure that have been held down since COVID because of the near-term rates. So I don't know if you guys remember Silicon Valley Bank, things like that. There are still sectors that have not recovered since the Silicon Valley Bank kind of debacle, and a lot of those specifically are in the regional bank categories. We'll get to that in a little bit. There are other sectors, and we've talked about this. A lot of people in the 13F season went into home builders. And if you're on a Mitt's channel or my channel, I've been talking about the home builders as a sector that is extremely interesting from the lows. This is a sector that could be coming out of the doldrums. LYFT and other companies like this could be in that same arena because they do need this short-term capital for financing, but the X factor is going to be that leadership team, right? So like, is LYFT's leadership the one that you want to back? I don't know, right? But that said, the chart will tell you beforehand, this does look like that, but it's not out, right? So this, as an example, yeah, this near-term stuff, great. LYFT is going to be out of the weeds when it's over 21. So between now 16 and 21, yeah, near term, that's great trading, but it'll tell you over 21 and holding at that point, you're in the clear. And it's going to be a big move. All of this chop, look, when you zoom out, look left, is this tradable range. It looks good, but if you're thinking investing, you actually don't want to be taking profits here because you have so much room in the near term. This is like when Robinhood was doing this. This was a great idea for a long time, very similar, but like I was saying, like, Robinhood took, and Palantir for that matter, this is like 2 or 3 years to get out of this mess, right? You could have done this traversing of, 50% gains in one way or the other, one direction or the other, 70% up, down, multiple times over. Maybe you could have, compounded your share count by trading that range. And eventually there was a breakout moment here, but it will look like this at some point, and you may get a retest like that. Go ahead.
So this is not a paper name, but this is kind of making me think about this. I actually don't know. Maybe you're gonna say you like it. What about RIVN? What do you take a look at?
That would absolutely. So RIVN. So to me, back then. I say back then. So when I first met Amit, I gave him 2 names, and I was like, look, because he was looking for. He landed on Grab, and we were talking about this a long time ago when I first met him, and I gave him 2 names, and I was like, well, if you're looking for, he's looking for a 10 bagger in 10 years, and I was like, 2 names right here, right now. Rocket Lab, and Rivian. And that was over here. Very much the same thing. I think Rivian's still there. Maybe it's 2027. All of this stuff can be in that same category, but I think that you can start hunting now. I think my point is that you can absolutely start hunting now. And you don't have to chase the super shiny opportunity today, because there are these. Rivian could be a generational buy. I will tell you that Rivian will be a generational buy over, if it does eventually hold. Oh, it's this. And again, you're thinking $20, Jason? Like, that's really high. But I'll tell you, it's going to be, when it's well over $20, it would be 100. Rivian's coming from $160. So when it's holding that, look, it's $13 today. Do I care that it's $13 today? Do I care when it's $10? No, I'll buy it below $15 all day, and I'll just put it in a drawer. But yeah, short-term rates coming down for a company like Rivian. Oh, okay. So great question. Rivian over Tesla, I can't make that call. I think they're both, so I think that Rivian can have a higher beta. I think they have both. I can't make that call. Depending on where we are, Rivian can 10x, Tesla can 2x. How's that? Tesla has a higher probability of 2xing than Rivian has a probability of 10xing. It is like that. The probability of Rivian 10xing is far smaller than the probability of Tesla 2xing. So you have to weigh it like that. And a lot of this has to do with these rates. If the near-term rates come down, there's a lot of pressure that comes off a lot of these companies if they're positioned well, and if you can start to get your arms around, do I believe in the leadership team? Do I believe in the vision? It's not good enough to have a good product. That is not good enough from an investing perspective. It's not good enough. Betamax was a better product than VHS. That is the staple example. Betamax was the far superior product. Laserdiscs were a better product than DVDs. Well, I mean, I guess that's debatable, but it's not good enough to be first to market. It's not good enough to have a better product. It comes down to the leadership team and business models and, their moats, if you will. And it's easier to track the leadership team. So, for Amit, it came down to RJ. RJ, Jesus. But there are pieces of the market like this, and I think like KRE specifically has been held down because of their what they called the duration risk of their bonds. If the duration risk falls off, I think that's a massive. I'll just put this out here. So FLG was New York Community Bank. This is Silicon Valley Bank. Not Silicon Valley Bank. This is New York Community Bank, Silicon Valley Bank debacle here. This one actually has a lot of backers right now. And if those backers start to make noise, they have a lot of names behind this. If those backers start to make a lot of noise, this is worth some due diligence. If those backers start to make a lot of noise in the markets and start speaking up, this is one where like the recovery here could be massive in short order. If this is the catalyst that does start to alleviate a lot of the stress that has been keeping something like this down for multiple years. But we could have triggered that type of event. KRE is the regional banking ETF, which we probably saw have one of the largest moves in years, actually, and has not moved really since then. I think this is the Silicon Valley Bank moment, and we're actually starting to finally actually hold above. That was Friday. As a sector, this could be the moment that it's been looking for. It could be. So this is one where like, hey, look, this is like better than home builders, almost possibly. But you can start to look in this type of sector. And this is not where you would normally look. In terms of Oxy, this, yes. I would say yes. I think 100 times over, yes. Also, similar kind of logic. But there are probably going to be a lot of forces that in the same tone, these are not what you are normally going to be looking for. I posted something about Oxy today. I will probably get a couple thousand views at most. And it always makes me laugh. Like the best trades that are out there, when it's time to take them, nobody cares. Nobody cares when it's time to take them. I'm telling you, this is the time to take this trade. It's not fancy. It's not what you want, but it is the time to take this trade. Yeah. This moment on Oxy, very, very likely. Also, just now turning the corner for sure. But anyways, I digress. So I'm not even going to go so far as to say, okay, just Oxy, because it's not necessarily Oxy. I would say the energy space as a whole, right? I talked to Jag the other day too. He was like, Exxon, he loves his Valero. They're all.
Should we get Jaguar on one of these at some point?
Well, yeah,
Maybe we do a different one with him.
Yeah, to me, I instantly went to Devon Energy because his thing was like, you know, all of this. And to me, who's got the highest beta? Devon Energy has like massive beta in the space. And I looked at this and I was like, oh my God, the setup is the same, right? It's the same setup like across the board, no matter what name I'm looking at. I'm like, are you kidding? But nobody knows these names like to this extent. These are massive type reversal setups. And I mean, these are not small. This is not a small reversal, dude. This is not a small reversal setup. So I think this is my point. This may not be specifically generational, but things like if you find like the KRE, if fundamentally this is a turning point where the near-term rates start to decline at a more rapid pace, that could be a fundamental shift in policy that does accelerate some kind of move. And if the market's not ready for that, well, or if you find a good company, and I was trying to go back in there and say, like, if there's a good company, it might not be New York Community Bank. It might be, and I was like, well, is it PNC? And I was like, no, PNC's actually made it pretty good recovery already. There are others in there. And then I went full bury mode the other day, and I grabbed some VF Corp because it could be a lift type move, right? Where in general, that shift does alleviate a lot of the pressure that's been on these companies, and it's just kind of flying under the radar. But I'm telling you, it's a big deal for a lot of these type of companies.
Can I ask you one that looks a little different?
Yeah,
and maybe is a little bit more advanced in this one. I wonder what Ethereum looks like. Someone was asking about BMNR. That's one I've been excited about. I don't know, but Ethereum kind of looks like this thing.
This is the thing. When I say like buy low, sell high,
this is buy, but
this is high, dude. Yeah. This is literally all-time highs. So like, it's fine. I don't have an issue with this, but it's in my mind, it's somewhat riskier, right? Like, can you buy high, sell higher? Well, I mean, does the strongest, like, yeah, it can continue on, but like, to me, it's like, look, I bought Ethereum at $125. It was my highest buy.
Go back to that time frame. There's a little white line down there towards the bottom, which you were probably playing around with, or white bar.
Yeah. Like, this was the most recent buy that I would have said is available. That's literally 1,500. And I talked to him and I was like, well, what are we talking about buying at $4,000, $5,000? Like, what? Like, it was here like a month, April. Like, or here, $300. So like, I mean, I'm old school crypto. So like, okay, is this a good buy? You're asking me if this is a good buy. I'm literally have lines on my chart that are like, okay, if you wanted to buy, here's a buy at 300. Here's a buy at 1,500, like 4 months ago. You're asking me now, can you buy it? I mean, if you want to, is kind of where I'm at, right? Like, okay, but like, where were you 6 months ago if you liked it? But this is what I'm saying. Like, it's weird because like nobody wanted it. This is, remember Meta, $80,
$80.
Nobody wants it at the lows. Nobody wanted Robinhood or Palantir at $8, $9 either. But that's when you needed to buy it. They want it at like $700, right?
You know, one thing I've realized, and I won't go too far in this, I'm good at buying when stuff goes down. And I bought Meta at $88, but I bought a lot before it too. But I struggle buying it after it hits that bottom and it's on its way back up, but it's still super cheap.
Oh, you mean like continuing to DCA at the lows?
No, even so at the lows, I'm good.
Like
but
here?
once that kind of work back up, so like even
oh,
if
like here,
I would have
like
bought,
buying it here,
yeah,
like
buying
here.
it at 2K when it confirms or something. I have struggled with that.
Or like here. Oh yeah. I have a hard. I'll be honest with you. I have a hard time jumping into the deep end here, but I don't have a hard time doing it here. I actually am more comfortable doing it here than I am here. So you should come hang out with me more.
Yeah. I bet you that's the retail emotion too, the normal people, that I'm more comfortable as it's going down and down. And when it's down like 5% from the top, I'm more comfortable than when it was.
Yeah, it's like this. Like, I'm more comfortable here and here than I am here. Even though like some people would be like, oh, this is just clearly right a double bottom. Although I will say that's $80. I got it at 125 last, which I believe, no, where's 125? Right there. I think right there was my last, like, legit buy. Right here. And it went down, but I didn't sell it. I remember that. I didn't sell it. And then I don't think I bought it here again. And I'm pretty sure it was this.
I got most of my Ethereum position in that 2018 to 2019. That whole couple months of candles down is where I bought most of my position.
This guy.
Yeah. A little. You're pointing to the lower part of it. I also got some of the higher part, but yeah.
Nice. It's not bad, dude.
I was a bartender or whatever. No, I was a bar back actually.
Ooh.
And I was just going in, so I was getting like $20 an hour. All of that was in Ethereum, up like 4x, 5x.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not bad.
I hear what you're saying though.
All right. I think this is a good question. So what about Snapchat? I think this is a perfect question. So like Snapchat, this goes back to the leadership. Like, it's a hard pass. No, on Snapchat. Cause like the leadership of Snapchat, it's all about that. Like, I I don't think with that current leadership team. Okay, you want to talk to them like as an investor. What has the CEO of Snapchat done for the investors, Evan?
So if you want me to reach, what I would say is they're going towards the
No, I want you to be like no, I don't want you to reach. I want you to be not without any judgment. Just
I haven't looked too deep into this company, but I will say the Snapchat spectacles, that seems to be the direction we're going. They seem to be necessarily one of the people who are early on it, not necessarily means they're going to win, but there's some stories around them wanting to invest in it, take out early money as money becomes easier. I mean, maybe there's something there, but
want to, right? But then like, okay, so even if it's a better product, it's going to be like Betamax, right? Even if, but who's got it? Like Meta has it, but they're just not, it's like, I think you had it right. Like they want to, but they're not able to, it's execution. I know you guys have cool names, but it's like, do you go Zuck or somewhere else? I think that's, wait. Do you own, I forgot. Do you own Snapchat? Did I lose him? Do we have dilution on Snapchat? It's Evan Spiegel, right? I definitely lost his audio. Spectacles. So they had this project. I just don't like, they have it, but for whatever reason, they're not able, they don't have anything that's theirs. They're not innovating. There's not really a moat. Like why Snapchat over Meta? Not right now. Unless that changed. Like unless there's like a new leadership in there. Okay, cool. I get the new generation, but like they're not able to monetize that from a business perspective. I definitely lost your audio, Evan.
sorry,
You're back.
Am I back? Yeah, no, my computer's
back.
been frozen. I was frozen there for a minute.
But I think it was a good question because
nice.
people will think like, okay, Snapchat's at the lows, but it's very much to that leadership point. It's like, okay, it's going to come down to the leadership, and it's going to come down to the do we believe that the leadership can execute, and what is their track record? Like, are they able to execute? And what, like, it's down to that. Even if the platform's good, or even if they have good products, that does not matter. Like that could be it's just very near term thing. It matters to like the day to day, but like long term, somebody else could copy paste. We were talking about Instacart the other day in the group, and I was like, I mean, what's so special about Instacart anymore? It's like literally nothing. And I'm like, I mean, I live in like middle of Silicon Valley, where Instacart was like born, and I don't even know anybody that uses this thing anymore. And I'm like, what makes Instacart special? I mean, if you want to order at the local grocery store, you basically just go to the website of the grocery store, and they will deliver.
And you know what?
Directly.
Headline risk here,
Huh?
Apple. A little headline risk here that Amazon getting more into grocery tends to get Walmart
Bingo.
more in, and
Yeah, like they will deliver directly. So it's like it could have been good in like early, and it was like a good product for a while. But I don't even know who the CEO is. So like I don't know who the CEO is. And if I did, it's like, can I invest do I believe in their team? Like, is it the founder? I don't know. Is it somebody else? I don't know. But if it didn't, to me, it wouldn't matter if it's founder led or not. It's like, how could somebody else copy and paste this business model and make it cheaper? And the answer is just obviously yes, because they're already doing it. Uber Eats or whatever, DoorDash, whatever. Who knows? Kroger uses Instacart to deliver. I mean, there you go. But at a certain point, will Kroger continue to use Instacart to deliver, or will it just be easier for Kroger to deliver? Yeah, could be. So
Instacart's not like when I even look on the 1 year and the 5 year, it's not like we're down 90% or something on Instacart and we're bottom.
Yeah, and then so like SOFI ripping since JPL. SOFI could be a play. I actually don't know. So then the rate story, like who's held down. Immediately I went to like, okay, Affirm, Upstart, things like that. So I think right here, right now, you want to look at like who's got the follow through in the near term. SOFI has this. I don't know enough about SOFI's business model. You guys might have a better sense of this to say, do they have that duration risk, right? That does SOFI as a business have the same duration risk that the regional banks have? Maybe. And in that case, is SOFI literally the play? So is SOFI now the play that I was thinking about? Maybe SOFI is the next play because of this rate story. It's a very real possibility. Look at this move, and not only this move today, but like the follow through today. This is a big deal. So how sensitive was SOFI's business itself, the business? How sensitive was it to that duration risk? I actually don't know. So maybe we would go and we would have to talk to, oh my God, somebody help me. We would have to talk to, oh my goodness, Future Finance, Evan. We need to talk to, not Roy, but he lives in Canada, and your mic is out again. I bring you back up. Tanner.
Investing.
Wow. We need to talk to Tanner because I don't know how sensitive SOFI's business itself is to those near-term rates. But the follow-through today, this could very well be that critical tipping point that pushes SOFI over the edge. So I think that, thank you guys, all of you, bingo, bango, right? And forget about S&P inclusion, because what we're talking about here is like, what catalyst did we just kick off that could move something into the next, like it could be SOFI. So like, what if it is SOFI? We're talking about a bank catalyst, actually. I'm pretty positive we're talking about a bank catalyst. And it very well might be.
There's also another thing.
It might be Noto's time, dude. We've been talking about this for a very long time, for years. Walter, Mr. Ned Flanders, that's not fair.
If you watch Tom Lee at all, he's been talking a lot about crypto kind of coming to the banking space and helping it with that re-rating as well. So there's like maybe another little theme going on there too, multiple. Yeah,
it could be. I mean, and so this is what I'm saying. Like, this could be worth some serious due diligence. But yeah, Jen, I think, Tanner's the guy. I don't know if my crew might not know, but see, I can't even. I will just like search Tanner, but it's not Tanner. It's Future. It's so hard to like search people for me.
On X, yeah, they make it kind of difficult.
Good God. Okay. I'll ping him. Anyways, that's his Twitter. But he covers SoFi. Would be, and I think it's like you guys probably know this a lot. I never was like a big SoFi guy. It's probably could. I don't think that hood is really susceptible to the short-term rates, but I know that the market looks.
I mean, I'm looking at their revenue. Lending revenue is $1.7 billion out of $3 billion, so about half.
No, but it's the duration. It's the duration, right? Like it's the duration, and then how much do they leverage those short-term? How much do they need that short-term? You know what I'm saying? Like the duration risk of like the same as the regionals. And then of their business, are they borrowing short to lend long? Which,
all right, yep, you're right. This is definitely Tanner questions.
I think if the business itself is borrowing short to lend long, there you go. If the business is borrowing short to lend long, then it will probably make money. And that could be exactly what SoFi is doing. And if that's the case, if short-term rates come down and long-term rates stay high, that's probably the magic formula for SoFi in that event. I mean, Carvana is like way up there. I know, but it's a lot of DD. I don't think one day is going to be like you don't have to chase any of stuff. Nick, I agree. Amit has been much later recently. Yeah, I think it's about the type of rate cuts. But that's what I mean. Like short-term rates come down. If long-term, it's about the duration. Is new the same? Oh, look at this one. So if it's a banking catalyst, I think it is a banking catalyst. This is international though, is it not?
It is South American, I believe.
Yeah, so we need US specific. We do need US specific.
One of the ones I looked at too, but they were all up. I wanted the exchanges. I think could be interesting, but they're all high. It's not that.
Yeah. It's. I'm looking for something way down in the doldrums, but I think it's something down here. I'll just do a couple really quick. So Tessie, you guys know I've been watching this for a long time. Today's price action. So I'm moving on right now. Today's price action, I think, is pretty important. What I will say is that today's dip, 335 on my last post was important. And then per like my last technical Tuesday, I'm like 338 was actually that last monthly high, right? Also comes from right here. So moving on to a chart for the day. Big move Friday. Cool. That's nice. But I want to see how the dust settles. Today, pull back, retest, big push up. Also, really nice to see. Look at these squiggles. I hate how this came through. So this move right here, right now, is very constructive on Tesla. constructive. As long as it's holding 338, which was last month's high, this month is going to be green, and that is ideal. For now, I want to stay somewhat positive, but I also want to acknowledge that we are not still out of the woods entirely. We're still battling with this upper kind of resistance level. To me, once we're over this hurdle, and I think you got to be still somewhat patient because, at the end of the day, look, just over 3 months, Tesla has been more or less sideways. So patience is, I think, key here. We're back over all significant simple moving averages. I actually did, in our group, send this long at the lows or very near the lows, just off of this kind of consolidation. And it was just off this. So I'm not a big trend line guy, but these two aligning with these three, and then right up here, we're looking like we're just out of that consolidation. Breakout, pullback, retest, happen to align, and then all that simple moving average stuff, looking for that expansion. It's still possibly there, but we need to get out of the box. Volatility, even though big day Friday, it's not going to be an expansion mode from a volatility perspective until we're up and out of this, which is 366. So we have a ways to go till this is like booming. So Tesla here now looks good today. This pullback intraday and hold of 338s, 336s, very constructive, 335s even, very constructive, holding that next level, yet to break over resistance. We're essentially in this box here. So can stay constructive, but optimistic, cautiously optimistic is the key word. Word of the day, phrase of the day, phrase of the week, cautiously optimistic, not out of the weeds, not breaking down, staying long, staying strong. But I know that I'm not in an active breakout just yet. So cautiously optimistic here, looking good, nothing to do. Trade location ideally was down here at the lows, like 320. Higher low, not a higher high just yet. If I want to slightly adjust this, I can. Looking okay, but it looks good. It looks good to me. I don't need it to break out today. Again, a little bit over 3 months sideways. I think this one deserves some patience. Over 360s, that's when we get into really thin structure on Tesla. Google, I think, like pretty straightforward breakout. Like this is all-time highs. This one, I had some short calls on this, which actually got stopped out today. Crazy enough, probably could put those back on, but like, wow, it was all-time high. Congrats for Googlers. Apple, I'll watch this as this goes. Couple of you guys asking up Palantir and AMD. So Palantir still sideways. It needs to get over 160. I think I did this on Technical Tuesday the other day. I did not expect to see that 140s-ish come in play so fast. I even texted our buddy and man, I was like, dude, did you grab that? Because like, wow, I was not expecting. Number one, I was not expecting to see that so fast. And number two, I was definitely not expecting to see that recovery so fast either. And I did grab some short-dated stuff quickly when I did see it have like a $15 recovery intraday. And I was like, holy moly. What's true that we can say definitively in this market is that, the buy the dip mentality is still alive and well. That was a quarterly high right here at 145. It dipped slightly into that value area low zone right here at 143. We had actually charted this out before, but it's not, again, not out of the weeds. What I did say was that if you get that, you need to be very cautious of this, and you still do. So you're not out of the weeds. This is cool, but you don't want to see this happen, right? That's still a possibility. It's a very real possibility. What you need to see is that, right? And even more follow through. So first level to watch is over 160s. It's not even like a clean 160s. It's more like a 161 and a halves is this area right here. It's basically last month's high. You mean like full daily move. And then when that happens, you want to start to see price accept over and start to fill in this low volume pocket. Otherwise, this area acts as resistance. And again, if we are in a transition period in the market, I don't want to be buying at resistance. That this buying here, going long here, is literally the definition of buying at resistance. This was resistance before it broke through. It was never acting as support. There was no support here. It was only resistance, which did break. It broke through. No support. It has second time acted as resistance, third time acted as resistance. There's no reason to think that it's not going to act as resistance again. The only support that might exist is way up here in the 170s that did act as support. So if this low volume structure does get broken through, okay, you might see like this little beach ball action. If that gets through, cool. Then you want to see the new support form way up here, actually. And that might look like some kind of dips in this area, but that's what that will look like. It's going to be a little weird to see, but that's essentially what it's going to. So until then, it's not here that you want to be buying in the 160s. Look left. Where are people picking this up? It's way over here. So yes, you have a higher low. You have one low. You do have a higher low. So this support area in the 140s, 150s, this is actually your current support level. This is your current resistance level. So it's a trading range for now, not out of the woods. Be on your toes. Again, very similar to Tesla. Cautiously optimistic, perfectly fine. Do you want to press your bets though? Not yet. Sit on your hands. It's a good week to see how the dust settles. That's literally what I'm doing right now. Someone asking about AMD. This does not look well today, but I think that to expect this to look good today or this week is, I'm not really sure why. You got NVIDIA earnings. Does it need to look bad? No. Does it need to look good? No. This looks pretty neutral for me right now. Someone's asking about CRM. CRM, dude, this is software. They're going to report. I don't think you look at this right now. I think you're going to get the jitters. It's either going to do good or it's not. I think this either saves the software world or it does not. Very heavy part of diamonds and one of the heaviest parts of the software sector as a whole. So this is going to be a very influential earnings report this week. I'm gonna just make sure I'm saying this right. Does CRM report this week? No, September 3rd. So CRM does not report this week. What a goober. It's September 3rd. It's next week. So they don't even report this week. When they do, it's gonna move. But I don't think that you should expect this to do anything right now. Like you might see another move up to the 260s, but it's gonna be reporting soon. Next Tuesday or Wednesday, actually. Next Wednesday after the close. So it's the last week. Maybe you get a little push to 255s. Hoodie is, I think, sideways, not breaking out. It's just going sideways right now. Neutral, not bullish. On the edge of being bearish. It's neutral. It's definitely not bullish. Not going to do Pellet. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to cover. Oh, Celsius. I was long Celsius for a while. I'm just going to check on this because I'm going to trade. Oops, she's short. All right. So if you followed Reddit, this is a short near term. So if you followed the Reddit trade or if you took a short on Roblox, this is what we call a stop hunt in progress. So meaning that this is coming down. I have, if I were to say high conviction, this is extremely high conviction, coming down in the near term. Where you ask, not that far, 58, 57s. Initially, to me, I'm like, you're definitely going to fill this and come into this level here. If you want to make quick dollars. But yeah, so this is that big earnings move to the upside, and then traders basically every day kind of move their stops up, just like they did on the Reddit or whatever. Every day, stops get moved up, up, up a little bit every day because this has been like the golden goose for them. And they're about to, haven't yet probably, any second. You probably started to trigger this morning. Yeah, so they started to trigger yesterday. Probably a little extra is triggering. And then if you breach this 59, then your waterfall effect will begin in short order below 60. And then you'll have your 5% plus days because your stops will get triggered. They've just been moving that up. So anyways, that is Celsius near term. But I'm already in this. But if you lose 60 on any kind of daily, I'm pretty sure this is already happening. Here's right, and it looks like this. But just the quick one, and then they'll kind of base out. This thing goes sideways. Roblox did something similar, and then they'll base out and kind of go sideways. It's just near term stuff. All right. Oh, Apple. I gotta wait on Apple.
Give me the 2 weeks. I'm telling. Okay, would I do your Apple thing, and then I got a question after.
It's not Apple today because right now it's a lower high, right? It's not today. It's definitely not today. So I have to wait for this to come back. Like it's absolutely not today because this is a lower high. So I have to wait for first of all, market has to be bullish. Period. End of story. Market is not bullish right now. So if I want to look for a level, the level is in here. That's at 213s. It's probably, and I'm going to have to look for a structure break. So it's probably going to have to look something like this. And so at some point, or so it's either going to be around 216 right here, or it can be a higher low, which means 220s. But for right now, unless Apple is doing this, which it is not, I'm not taking this just because. No way. Over 230. But it's not doing this. So it's either going to do, let me make this cleaner for you. It's either got to come up and it's going to look like this.
The iPhone event will be in like 2-3 weeks or so. So
Yeah, that's fine. Or it's going to look
probably
like
get
this.
a dump
Or it's
off
going to look like
afterwards.
this. Yeah, so either Apple had to look like this, coming off of this support, which it did not. It's quite the opposite, in fact, right? Or it can look like this. See this little pivot? Or it can look like this over here, but this is a ways to go. Or it can look like this down here, also a ways to go. Or in fact, it could do this down here. But any way you slice it, it's not here. And for confirmation, once I get there, I'm going to need to see follow through. Like once I pick one of these, if I pick this one, let's say I pick this one, right? Let's say I go in here. I'm going to need to see that to confirm. I'm going to have to see that again. Then I'm going to have to see that again. If I don't see one of these, well, I know I'm at risk. And if it comes down and if it doesn't do this, then I know I probably need to exit stage left. That's trading. It is what it is. All right, we're probably well over. But that would be stage one has to at least get over Friday's high. And I'm not. Once it's over Friday's high, then I can at least say it's going up. Otherwise, 225 is that first spot, which isn't like a big spot. 225 is that first spot. I can like, okay, maybe. Which means I would have to start to see.
Shout out Emp in the chat, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
And his new baby girl.
Hope you and the kid. Yeah, exactly. Girl dad.
Look at that. Well. Girl dad. Mr. Cash, Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft is, yeah, so this is buy low, sell high, right? This is high. This actually looks like it's on edge, and this is, I mean, this looks decided. But I'm not gonna jump in this. It will be decided if it goes lower. It will be decided down here. This is like, you know, that the term is like, don't diddle in the middle. It will be decided if it goes lower, and it'll be decided if it goes higher up here. In the middle is where I'm really not trying to get whipped around. You are at the low end of this trading range, but if it goes any lower, it's not going to be pretty. Well, near term. That's only just a here. So we'll see. JP Morgan holding in, barely hanging on by a thread. This one came in right into upper resistance and just slapped it right there. Boom. So it's a possible short right here, right in that overhead supply on watch. Possible, but I want to see structural moves. TBD. I stream every day, almost all day in the server on YouTube, Mondays, as long as the market's open, and then Tuesdays, as long as we don't have like earnings announcements and stuff with the MIT. And then on X, when I can, as I can for sure. For now, that's the schedule. And then in between all that, very much working on, like, every waking moment right now is working on the next iteration of the School of Gains, which is going to be probably the biggest release that we've done, like, ever. Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, an absolute.
Is this like a course, like a class, or is this more of like a group?
School of Gains. It's going to be, right now it's 25 courses, one and done essentially, but like one and done for me. We did the last School of Gains was the last time we're going to do it live, but it's like intro to trading. It's going to be, I don't really want to go too deep into it, but there's going to be 3 levels. Essentially, get your, what we will call like a undergraduate, and then a second level will be masters, like masters of gains, and then a third level, like PhD level in technicals, like doctorate of gains. Emp has been in some older ones for sure, and he's been in some of the live sessions. This one, it's very taxing to do it live, and we can only do so many sessions. The undergraduate is like, literally, it's like a 4-year degree. It's 20, so we're landing somewhere between 20 and 25 courses recorded, but this time we're going to do it broken down. Each course, which used to be a 3-hour course, we're going to break them down into 30 to 45 minutes, ideally 45 minutes, but each of those is going to be broken down into 3 to 5 minute chapters, and we use a platform called Udemy. Anyways, there's quizzes, the whole 9, final exam to pass and get your cert from us, and then there'll be like masters, doctorates, each one progressing a little bit further and further and further. But yeah, it's a big deal. All in all, it should take you from near nothing, this time from near nothing information to literally everything. But yeah, it's definitively the most thorough release that we've ever done, for sure. But anyways, it's a big one.
I am excited.
It's like, I mean, probably the biggest thing that we've done in ever. But yeah, it's taken a lot. But once this one comes out, it should be like locked and loaded for, I'd say, the idea is life. But yeah, it's like full blown university, full blown.
When we're closer, I want everyone, first of all, to go in, make sure you're subscribed to Jason's channel, hit that bell button. I'm going to push you. I want a code for the Monday live stream listeners when we get out there. I don't know whatever percentage it is when we're doing that first week. I want a discount code for the people who are on this live stream every single week.
Discount for what?
You good with that? For the School of Gains, when they go in and do that, we'll get a nice code. Little tiny bit extra, whatever it is. For the people who just hit that bell button.
I'll say this: the structure. I don't know if you it's not your normal structure, for sure. So I'm sure we'll do something. We will do something. We'll give him a code, no problem. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I want a good code though. I don't want one of those I'm reading somewhere else and all of a sudden there's like a free trial, like 20% cheaper. No.
All I should say, School of Gains is not a like monthly commitment. It's long-term commitment. It's like full, like it's not a one and done. It's like we're committing, we're meeting all the time. And it's like it's work. So anyways. any vets from School of Gains know it is a lot of work, but it's an investment from me to the students and the students to us and the students to their careers, really. So, all right, we got to wrap this though, brother. For sure.
You.
But appreciate everybody. Give Evan a follow too, by the way, if you don't. But yeah, appreciate all the support. Like, subscribe. We will see you on the next one. No stream next week, but hopefully Technical Tuesday tomorrow. And cool. On to the next. See you guys. Adios. Late.